So, what are we talking about?
Think we're talking about communion, man. Communion with the symphony, communion with, all the different amazing possibilities that people can perceive, receive, know with the tools of access consciousness and the communion that it actually creates and the sense of empowerment. And but also looking at and acknowledging or addressing where people may have reservations in terms of receiving the tools because it may not align and agree with their culture's points of view or their religion's points of view or their family's point of view about stuff. And so what I've seen over the years, and even before I started Access, is like anything that's outside of the box of mainstream and whatever mainstream is, right? Mainstream for that part of the world, right? It's considered either evil or don't go there because you'll open up this Pandora's box and you'll go down this path of no return. You'll lose yourself. Like all these fears if you're not willing to live within this box. But what's interesting is it'd be a little understandable if there was one box globally, but there's not, right? It's like Saudi Arabia has their box, right? Kuwait has their box. The United States definitely has a lot of their own boxes. Like everything, China has their boxes. It's like, well, who has the right box? And what if the boxes in which we live, the constructs of this reality, are the greatest lie? And what if these things are in place as a way to control those of us who are not willing to look at what else is possible? So for me, it's like I forgot how we came up with this conversation, but I went through my phase where I had a guru and that was one thing, but then I actually went back to the church, which was interesting. And anything outside the church was considered demonic and evil. And then my wife died, with suicide, and that's a whole nother story in of itself of how the church got involved and kept her from getting on medicine or even supplements, like natural supplements, right? And I was like, fuck you guys, I'm done. Because they tried to tell me that Jesus was going to heal her, right? And well, he didn't. And so here we are, right? And so, but then they started to accuse me of opening up the door to the devil. I hadn't even started Access Consciousness yet. This was just all the other things I was studying with my chiropractic techniques. So the gift that traveling around the world, but being able to facilitate in the Middle East is like, at the end of the day, religion is religion. It doesn't matter if you're Muslim or Christian or a Jew. If you are within those boxes, everyone has the same fears. They have the same guilt. They have the same shame. They have the same, oh my God, am I falling out of favor with God or Allah? If I do this, if I explore something outside of this box, I am going to go to hell. Or at least my family is going to say I'm going to hell. Or if you do go outside of this box, you are going to invite demons into your life and you will be consumed by darkness.
Oh, you will be the demon. Yeah.
Or you'll be the demon. You are the demon, right? And that's why your wife died. Like that's pretty much what they told me. I was like, really? And I hadn't even studied. I didn't even know access consciousness existed. But so here's what I just like to say. The energies are so beautiful. They're so beautiful and glorious. And what they can create and change in people's lives. And when I receive these energies and my life starts to change, guess who I thank at the end of the day? Thanks, God, for bringing these amazing tools to my life.
And we
I'm
say it in Arabic, Anthony. We do say it in Arabic. Like every when everything, how does it get any better than this? And we say, Alhamdulillah.
Yeah,
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, I have these tools. Alhamdulillah that I have the tools.
yeah.
I have the navigation system with everything going on.
Thank you. Yeah, and so like, but I see people hold themselves back because they're afraid. And and I know a lot of people will refer to access consciousness as a cult and all these different things. And look, first of all, cults do not empower you to know what you know. Cults do not empower you to be the leader of your own life. Cults basically say you need to follow this way or else. Okay? Those are the cults, all right? So, whatever. That's not why we're talking here. I know, Yousef, you said you wanted to talk about some amazing things about communion and the things that showed up in your life and with your body and with possibilities. And I just want to invite people to know that what if everything is truly an interesting point of view? And remember, guilt and shame and fear, those are nothing more than distractor implants that were created by man. And every religion has it, which is funny. Like every one of them. Go ahead.
Yeah, something that was so amazing, yet so simple. It's like not willing to look beyond the lie. And like sometimes we look at what is called religion, like the place that has no lies, and what a lie is that. And like what I discovered in my own experience with taking the symphony or being with the symphony energy, like I didn't know it was communion. I gotta say that, but it was something so peaceful with just being, and it
Yep.
was like everyone else was like asked. I was just telling Anthony after doing the SOP class, everyone was telling me like non-access people or like people that are not into what I'm doing. Like, what are you doing? What were you doing? What's happening? Because like you're so shining. And I was like, I was doing something called SOP. And they're like, what is that?
The devil's making you shine.
So it was so awesome. And one of the things that I also experienced, like having peace and having communion with God, having peace, communion with nature, with like, it's even with food. Like me, like Layal and me, like we really enjoy food, honestly.
No,
And I
no,
know
no. We don't. Yusuf, we don't enjoy food. We're foodies.
yeah, we are foodies, and it's like you can have symphony even like with food. It's just like it is universal, and you can have it with every single thing that you can choose to. It's not only God or just like food. It can be you, literally. So it's like what is communion, you know? It's everything. It's just like being, basically. So yeah.
Yeah, and let me just clarify. Communion is oneness, right? It is where we include everything and judge nothing. So I just want to clarify: you don't have to give up your religion to do access consciousness. Okay, nobody's saying that. All right, it's just when religion keeps you from exploring other possibilities and projects shame and guilt and all those kinds of things. And so, but nowhere in Access do we say you must give up your religion in order to receive the tools of Access consciousness. Not at all. If anything, it should make you feel more grateful for your religion, not less. That's
Yeah,
my
exactly.
point of view.
And then here is the thing. I doubt that religion has anything to do with it. It's the judgments. It's
True.
the realms of this reality that
Right.
ruins you and makes you feel wrong about everything and anything you do, whether it's access or a new hairdo or a new color or a new
Yeah.
food you're trying. So it's not even religion. That's the thing. And it's glummed up in one thing when it's not.
Yeah. That's
I
right. Judgment.
yeah.
Go ahead, Anna.
Yes. I want to say it's like access is like new revolution in things. And it's like يعني, this land or like the earth is like whenever like a new thing that comes, people reject it and tell us like they know more about it. But what I love what is like at the first page of foundation, access is not to destroy this, is not to destroy this reality,
Right.
is not to see the wrongness of this. Like I'm a Middle Eastern Saudi. It's like I wanted to love my family for like ages. I always had resentment toward them, like because I can't fit, and it's like they can't read my mind. So I was always like the what is like the red whatever like بنت البطة السوداء.
Yeah,
Say
the black duck, the black sheep.
the black sheep. Until it's like I started to learn these tools, and Symphony was part of my life. So it's like, okay, I let them to be and they be, and there's no wrongness of both. And I think these things is like, it's not about religion, it's not about anything. It's just like Access give you like instructions how you enjoy living in this planet for this time. What do you
Yeah.
think?
And to be able to change whatever's not working for you in your life, in certain areas of your life. I mean, it really is that simple, but people make it so damn significant.
It's the ease of living with all of us. At some point, at a very early stage in our lives, we knew it existed. We knew that it's available. And
Right.
yet nobody told us. With Access, it was the one place that told me, yes, you can have that. Here you go. And that was it. It was like, for me, it was ever since, I used to think, why are they crazy about nothing? You know,
Yeah.
it's like they're really insane about things that do not really create anything in their lives. And I didn't get it. I used to feel so lonely before Access. I used to feel alone. I used to feel miserable because even what I know, I because what we know doesn't have words.
Yeah.
And the symphony carries that energy without the words, without the requirement of the right dictionary.
That's right. Right. Because there are no words. It's truly just an invitation to this space, more of this space called you, right? But it's the you beyond the definition, you beyond your DNA, the you beyond your even your physical body, and that's an area where people hold on to dear life, and sometimes it's really hard for them to let these energies in because there is a level of intensity to it that might be a little bit different than what you experience in your everyday life, right? And so we have all these points of view and all these filters in which these energies start to try to come through. And we're so used to having all these walls and barriers up, and we're like, no. But it's like, it's because we have these really strange points of view of like, if we were to let these energies in, it means something. It doesn't mean anything. This is your infinite being we're talking about accessing your infinite being. That's it. And it's like, and when you start to get a little bit of a taste of that, then you can be the contribution in the world that you've always desired to be, and create your life the way you've always knew was possible, no matter who judged you or not.
Yeah, that. No matter who judged you. And even that you can receive afterwards. You can really, being in communion is receiving that judgment
Yep.
with total ease.
It's easier when you're creating your life and being you. Then you're an allowance of everybody judging you. But when you're
Yeah.
trying to fit in, then you're like resisting and reacting, or you're aligning and agreeing with their points of view.
True.
Very interesting.
Such a great like line as well. Like it was the first time like listening about like receiving judgment. It was like with me in Access, I was like, how do you do that? It's like I can sense the judgment and the projections because like I'm an X-Men, so I have like extreme perceiving with judgments, like especially with the projection and whatsoever. And like when I heard about that, I was like, well, that sounds good. Now, how do we be it? And it took me like also like few years like to reach there. Like once I reached it, as Layal said, like you can just like receive it with joy as like here you go. You can just be and they can judge who gives a shit.
Yeah.
With the communion energies, like okay, you want to judge. That's a choice, and it's such a great space to be. And yeah, like what invitation it is.
Yeah. Sometimes I still get triggered when someone like accuses me of a lie, right? It's like there'll be some truth, but with a lie attached. And I always go into my natural nature is to go into reaction and have to defend myself because one thing I hate, if I've done something and you say it, sure, I'll own up to it. But if you twist it and there's a lie attached, I lose my shit. I go into anger, rage, fury, and hate. And I'll never forget where Dane's like, bro, don't worry about it. And he's like, okay. He's like, you need to look at where you're doing that now in your life that you're not acknowledging, and where were you like this person in one lifetime or another. And that actually started to ease that need of defending the lie that they were saying about me. But it also got me to look at, okay, you know what, when was I an asshole like this person, even in this lifetime, that I'm not acknowledging. And so that actually allowed me to receive the judgment as well, which made it a little bit easier. At least I wasn't so like, "Argh." So that was an interesting tool as well. Like, where was I? Where was I that? Or where were I that? Where am I doing that? And where am I doing that I'm not acknowledging?
Wow, that's a great tool.
Yeah. Yeah, that really.
安爆，这谁是什么鬼？
What else, you guys?
You tell me who. I'm trying to look for the exact way of saying that. So go on. Go ahead. Keep talking.
Shall we see if anyone has any question or concern?
Of course.
Wanting more?
Let's do it. Sure.
Yeah. So what do you have, guys? And I need to say this in Arabic. Everyone is asking, مترجمة العربية بعدها ما وصلت. The Arabic translator is not yet here.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. So here's the
Yeah.
question. Where am I doing that I'm not acknowledging? And Pokken Pod where I was that, and Pokken Pod where I'm actually doing that now, but I'm not acknowledging. Okay, so when someone's judging you, look at it that way, okay? Because you can only get angry at things that you've already done before in one lifetime or another. Oh, now I'm yellow. Anyway.
And if you haven't done it before, you mean you won't be triggered? Is that what you're saying, Anthony?
Well, it's not that you won't be triggered. You have to be willing to be, at the end of the day, it's about being in allowance, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're willing to acknowledge where you've done, you can't judge what you haven't already been or done.
Because you have no
Reference point for it.
Yeah,
right?
reference point to it. Yeah.
So I'm reacting to someone being an asshole because I've been an asshole. You know, I may have not done that exact thing, but there have been times where I did something maybe similar, and you forget about it, right? So, but it may not be this lifetime either. You have to look at it that way too. It's like, you may have done these types of things in one lifetime or another, and in this lifetime you're making up for the damage done. Awesome pod.
They're asking if you could repeat what you just read that tool, please.
Yeah, so like, let's say someone's doing something that's really, really pissing you off. You want to ask, okay, where am I doing that I'm not acknowledging? Where have I been that? And where have I done that?
I want to talk is like about our generation when it comes to Middle East, because our generation, it's a bit different than like the previous generation. So like when the tool autonomy came up, it's created so much ease for me, and it's created so much ease to be with people, because it's like, because we have different way of thinking of stuff or running our life, and we're open to different culture comparing to like my mom or my grandmother. So it's like, we're the good people. It's like, you didn't know, we're like, we speak different languages, you just speak one. And with that thing, it's like people started to talk about autonomy, and it's like it's exclude oneness and stuff. SOP and the energy of the symphony, that's the one is created different space for me.
Yeah.
It's like when I perceive like I'm being the autonomous, okay, just like, ooh,
Right.
I just let it be.
You can't be SOP if you're doing autonomy.
Yeah.
not possible. And and it's like when being an SOP or you're doing a session, one of the first things you learn in your foundation manual is about the elements of intimacy, 5 levels of intimacy, right? We talk about vulnerability. You can't be autonomous and vulnerable at the same time. But vulnerability is not about being a doormat and letting people take advantage of you. Vulnerability is about having your walls and barriers down so you can have total receiving. And when you have total receiving, you have the awareness of all energies that are available. And you'll know what is required in a given 10 seconds. And you're willing to be that without a point of view. That's the space of vulnerability. And so, that becomes the gift in the symphony of possibilities. And I think we got onto this conversation when we had the call with Katarina, in that, because I know people are hesitant to play with these SOP energies because they have this fear that they're entering into something spiritual. And no, it's just this thing that's opening up space. So you go beyond the solidity of this reality. You go beyond the density of it, the constructs of it, right? And you start to access these things that are miraculous. But we are miraculous. You are miraculous. I mean, just look at from a scientific point of view. You are the one sperm that made it.
Yay!
Think about it. Out of millions.
That's a fun way of looking at
I
it.
love that.
You won the race. You won the race. You got to the egg. And then a whole bunch of sperms made it to the egg too, but the egg has an electromagnetic field. You still have to break through the electromagnetic field. We did it. We're incredible.
Happy sperm. Yay!
I mean, come on. So it's like, but yeah, we have to recognize and really look at and stop for a moment and be like, just for that example, like, we are a miracle. And if that's not consciousness in action, I don't know what is. And yet we fight against that.
Yeah.
I tell you what, Anthony, because nobody told us that it's okay to acknowledge that. It's okay to know that.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
told. We needed validation, for God's sake. For the longest time, we needed 100,000 people to validate whatever we're doing, to make it right, or otherwise we'll be wrong. And that's it's as simple as that. Are you going to be good or bad this year?
Right. It's like, oh my goodness. Right. It's
Yeah.
like, seriously, it's all about polarity. It's all about trying to get it right. And then parents, now we could talk about parenting, right? And if they're good parents, right? A good parent is going to try to control the shit out of their kids so they can grow up to be good.
Yes.
Good. Yeah.
Because that's good parenting, right? Or so they can be healthy and safe and they don't end up in a mental hospital or become drug addicts or alcoholics, or they're right with God. That's a lot of controlling. That's a lot of pressure to put on a parent.
And where is the choice in here for the parent and the kid?
That's right. Exactly. So everybody's angry.
Yeah! Angry sperm.
So yeah,
And
this whole world's built on polarity. It's built on
Someone
right
broke.
and bad. Sorry, did I break up?
No, I think who was breaking? Did
Someone
you?
did. Yeah. No, I don't know. Someone did. It's like, yeah, like with being happy and like, one thing is like being humanoid and being weird. Like, I'm one of the people that I grew up like, I was a Harry Potter inside the Muggle house, and I still am. And I'm one of these people, I'm still like, I was at a family gathering yesterday, and I was like just like being there and enjoying the people as much as I can, enjoying the food. Although I was on a diet, but I was enjoying the food. And just like, I was like, oh my God, I am like the only Harry Potter or like humanoid in here, most probably, that I'm just like still discovering the space of me and still discovering, and I'm still fucking potting everywhere where like people projected at me how different / weird I am and how not normal to their point of view. And like when I took the X-Men material and the symphony, especially the symphony, I was like, oh my God, I'm fucking amazing. It's like, it is literally a miracle. Like after the symphony, I was like, I'm weird, I love it. You're weird because you're not weird. You know? You're weird because you're normal. And after that, I was like, okay, you can be normal. You can be, it's like this mix of community and just like being with it. And just like having fun with every single one of just like piece of life, even like the wrong and the right, because like, is there even a wrong or a right? But again, it's like I am really grateful for Access because like this is one of the spaces that I just like got to be in. It's just like what else is possible from here? And just like being in that question, what else is possible and what's beyond that? And I didn't know that that was existed, honestly. But like, yay.
Part of the resistance to, some people, again, some people believe that the only thing that exists is this box, right? So from their point of view, they're trying to protect you from going outside of it. But then there's the other people also that they're like, well, what if you are right? What if I have been living in this cage? I've imprisoned myself. And when Yousef chooses to be him, there's a whole nother reality out here that I've never been willing to choose. So it puts people into question when you're actually being willing to be different. Because people then, not everyone, because there's a lot of people just blatantly unconscious, but by you being you and showing people a different reality, then they actually have to make a choice to either stay in that box, that limited world and reality, or actually explore. And a lot of people don't like that. They
And how
get
many people
angry
like
when
that?
someone tells them there's a different possibility.
Because like it's going against the comfort zone. So they
Exactly.
project wrong because you're putting me in a place where I'm not comfortable.
That's right. How dare
Wow.
you? How dare you
Yeah.
show me that I've limited my entire life till that,
How dare you can let me know I can be happy, you know?
Yeah. And then
But
that's when they
that
like to use God as a way to really make you feel wrong so they don't have to look at it.
Yeah, but that is amazing in my experience.
So
and
everything
that's
matters. Can we destroy and uncreate it all?
yes, please.
Right, wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 100, shorts, boys, poets, creation, species, and beyond. Yeah, so I mean, I think we just wanted to have this conversation to basically say it's okay. We know these things come up for people um, around the world. You don't have to give up anything. But what if there are things you could add to your life so you could actually access more of you, beyond the definition of you, beyond family, not to go against your family, not to make them wrong, but so that you can actually live the life that you've always known as possible, but you never really had the tools to explore it and develop you. So that's really the invitation. And SOP is a big part of that journey within like the umbrella of access consciousness.
And here's the thing. This is the place where if we be more in communion with everything, there is no space to judge. There is no space to wrong anything or wrong anyone in that matter. And then with communion, you get to know even how to be greater because
Yeah.
you are in communion with all energies. And when we exclude any energy, so the SOP is an energy available to all of us, and it's an energy. And when we're not in communion, we're in that separation, judgment, rejection, um, projections, and expectations. We can't be in communion with all other energies, even that the SOP can open for us. Communion is being one, being in oneness with everything, everything, whatever that is, and
Including the people judging us.
including us being wrong and lousy in any minute
Mm-hmm.
and any day, including I can't blame in communion. I can't see myself as wrong. It is that much of a great gift. I am acknowledging the gift of my creation. I won the race, as you said. What can be wrong about me? Seriously, like, it would start, it would come up. And then I would start judging myself and I say, no, But I'm that gift. I am that gift. I am that gift.
Winner's
Pardon?
the sperm that made it.
يعني, it's the gift. I really see it as, wow, how can I judge anything about me? Even like my fat, my lack of muscles or what thereof, whatever that is. I can't judge it.
Yeah.
There is no space. I'm that gift.
Yeah.
That is a good
Honestly, with
measure.
this energy, I became from the outside better citizen because there is like kindness that comes with my family, with my culture, with people around me. So like it's not about proving who's right or wrong. It's about like what I'm gonna create more. What can I change? How can I be the change I want to see in the world? And that's like the energy of it, it just goes away. So like the energy. Now if there is a fire and there is the heat, you can't see the heat. You perceive it and you receive it. And that perception and you're playing with it, knowing what is there, choose what to do after. Symphony is the same. When the first is coffee, they discovered coffee. Everyone said that's is a very gonna be bad for like the man, like the man, like the يعني in
And
the
man,
manhood, in the
yeah.
mankind, that one. But it's like now it's like everyone loves coffee. Symphony is the same, access is the same. It's just like tool and modality that changes life. So like it's not about religion, it's not about anything. It just no significance. And it's just fun to
Exactly.
use it.
Exactly.
Thank you. And thank you for the coffee example. Do you know that Europe and Christians and Jews forbidden drinking, they forbade drinking coffee.
Oh,
And
wow.
then the Europeans started, and then the Jews kept the forbidding drinking coffee until they said it has to be made by a Jew person. Otherwise, it's forbidden.
The Jew coffee.
Has to be, yeah, because the coffee shops, they started going to coffee shops in Egypt and they don't want to do that. And that was way back, like I'm talking about 17th, 18th century.
Yeah. Yeah, the Catholic Church had issues with private jets. They're like, let the devil's machine be for the devil. And I think now
Exactly.
the Pope flies around in a private jet now.
And
It,
coffee in the Middle East was haram because because the name liquor, any alcoholic drink used to be called qahwa, coffee.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, so it's one of the names of alcohol. So when coffee came, because it does the same thing. In Arabic, qaha is where you have your fill up. And coffee does this. You don't get hungry if you're drinking coffee. So it must be alcohol. So it must be haram.
Yeah.
And now we're drinking coffee. Oh my God, there is Saudi coffee now. Do you know that, Anthony? There is a difference. There is Arabic coffee and Saudi
Oh.
coffee. And you cannot say Arabic coffee about Saudi coffee.
Yeah. So we're inviting you to the coffee of possibilities. The
Please.
symphonies.
Absolutely.
Happy
Yes,
sperm.
coffee of possibilities.
And
Yeah.
if everyone who took a foundation and they love the tool, and it's like they wanna play with it. It's what is it? I just came from a class. I was facilitating online, so like we're texting. Actualization of the tools, of the things, of a lot of the it's wow. So like you just require a foundation as a prerequisite for the opening of Symphony. And you can take it online. You can come and see us in Dubai, or you can have a satellite where you stay in your place and you invite people who took the foundation with you to enjoy the class together and to learn the symphony.
Yes.
Cool. And then for the Symphony of Possibilities with Dr. Dane, you do need the ESB. And if you haven't had that as your prerequisite, just you can buy it online before you come. Just make sure you watch it. because it'll help to sort of like prepare you to receive all the amazing energies that go on in an SOP class.
Okay,
Exactly. So both will be in Dubai.
Yes.
I
yes,
don't know.
and Anaa is hosting it.
Yes. Yay.
I'm one of the hosts, yeah, online
And let's
host. And
acknowledge that. I mean, Anaa, like when I met you, what, 7 years ago or 8 years ago, or I don't know when it was, in South
ages.
Africa, it's like now it's like the Middle East is receiving these wonderful energies, and we're gonna have the first SOP class for the first time in the Middle East. It's like, you know, it's beautiful. Things are changing, and what I love about it is consciousness. People are waking up, which is really nice to see globally. We need to continue to wake up, and we need to continue to be and really choose consciousness, which is not always easy and comfortable, but at least, you know, we'll ultimately have more of ourselves and more communion internationally and globally, because we really do need to all
Yes.
step up.
Anthony, someone is asking, isn't the CFP required for the SOP with Dane?
I don't know. Betsy
Yes.
and the girls probably know all that. Whatever you need ESB. So if you need CFP for ESB, I'm not sure how it all goes. I should know,
And
but
I
I don't.
received a question today from someone that if they attend the opening of the symphony, would they be able to
No,
play with that energy?
no. Only on them. They are not practitioners. You have to come to the SOP class.
Not even for sessions, but they will.
They could like play, but they just can't charge people for it and say I'm a symphony practitioner, because they're not.
Okay.
It's a 1-day
Yes.
class. You need to come to the 3-day class.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you. It was a 4-day class. So how lucky are you guys?
that's right. So,
Yeah.
but you know, after the day with me and then the 3 more days, then you'll be able to go home and you know, be a practitioner and, you know, start doing sessions on people, but not after the 1 day.
Mm. Thank you, Anthony.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
guys. Thank you.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you everybody for your time. I hope that stirred the pot a little bit, but at least gave you some awarenesses of there's really nothing to be afraid of with the Symphony of
And
Possibilities.
it's only what was it? Coffee of possibilities.
The coffee of possibilities, exactly. So I hope to see you actually in person. It's a lot more fun live than online. Online's still magical, but in person is even like,
Yeah, that's true.
okay.
Anybody.
So see you all.
Bye, everybody. Mwah.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.